Mr. Dennis Aoyong and Mrs. Regina Aoyong.
Mr. George Mock and Mrs. Zeddy Mock.
Miss Frida Chung and her guest, Miss Kay Ikawa.
We have Mr. Andrew Go, Honorary Advisor of the Bauhina Gala, also Chairman of Singtao Daily and Singtao Foundation, and Mrs. Susan Go, Co-Chair of Immigrant Resource Center, Fundraising Co-Chair, and Board Member of Singtao Canada Foundation.
Honorary Advisor of the Bauhina Gala, and also Publisher of the Toronto Star, and her husband, Mr. Joel Pike.
Miss Connie Septon and Mr. Cyril Lai, representing Fairchild Media Group.
And we have Mr. Joe Bope, Member of Parliament.
Mr. Derek Lee, Member of Parliament.
Mr. Brian Wilford, Member of Parliament, and Mrs. Wilford.
And we have Mr. John McCallum, Member of Parliament, and Mrs. Nancy McCallum.
The Honourable Jerry Phillips, MPP, Minister of Government Services.
The Honourable Mike Cole, MPP, Minister of Citizenship and Immigration.
The Council of the Town of Markham and Mrs. Teal.
Mr. Norm Kelly, Councillor of the City of Toronto, and Mrs. Kelly.
Mr. Chin Lee, Councillor of the City of Toronto.
we have Mr. David Cohen of the town of Richmond Hill and Mrs. Cohen.
Mr. Godwin Chan, Councillor of the town of Richmond Hill, and Mrs. Chan.
Mr. John Mann, Honorary Chair of the CICS Foundation, and Mr. Patrick Yoon, President of CICS Foundation. And welcome the Bauhina Gala's honorary patrons.
First, let's welcome our Gala Honorary Chair, Mr. Basenio So, Director of Hong Kong Economic and Trade Office, and Mrs. Viola So.
Lu Shumin, Ambassador of the People's Republic of China to Canada, and Mrs. Gao Shuking.
The Honorable Belton McGuinty and Mrs. Terry McGuinty.
Tao Ying and her husband, Mr. Huang Ying. Mrs. Tammy Scott, Vice President Marketing Communications, and her guest, Mr. Trevor Manning.
亮燈儀式
2, 1.
There you go.一個簡單而隆重嘅揭幕儀式啦，咁啊啱啱進行咗。Thank you.
Now, please remain standing for the singing of both the Canadian and Chinese national anthems performed by the Yips Children's Choir.
From far and wide.
gentlemen, you may take your seats.
We're not making 大盤菜, tonight. So we got quite a few boxes returned, and so Chefman was a little bit upset. So now I want to start. How should we eat these dishes? I think it's a little late.
Well, but let me ask 阿文師傅，我哋嘅 master 啦，究竟應該點樣食啦嚇？即係可能你食咗一半或者食晒㗎啦，咁但係一個支持都好啊，嗬。
其實咧，我哋應該首先咧食嗰個凍嘅三文魚先啦，跟住食啲清淡嘅蘆筍啊、海鮮啊，咁一路食落嗰啲肉嗰度嘅。不過
Well, we worked very, very hard on this small dishes. It just took you one bite to finish it, unfortunately. And put it together with different areas or provinces. So if you look at one of the dish, is a cucumber.
Wow! Susan said, "I like that."
If you like it, you know it's good.
Thank you, 兩位大廚。
Future-friendly tool set, for the chef, for their casual cooking. And at the same time, for all the guests tonight, we have prepared decadent chocolate dessert for all of you. You can find it on your table. It's our most recent chocolate flip phone. It's a sweet deal for you, and it's 0 calorie. So make sure you indulge in it. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
My family is currently living in Richmond Hill. Which address I'm going to keep it a secret. But all my favorite things are Canadian, including ice hockey. My favorite team is Toronto Maple Leafs.
You can't get more Canadian than that. Now, how cool is that? Miss Hong Kong is from Richmond Hill. I think that says it all for Canada-Hong Kong relations. Now, how does someone end up being from Canada end up being Miss Hong Kong? How does that work?
Well, my parents are from Hong Kong, China. so that helped a lot. As well as I also visited Hong Kong constantly every year during summer vacation. So I felt close at home, you know, and considering the fact that there's 250,000 Canadians in Hong Kong, that also made it feel very comfortable as well.
Now, you've seen the world from both sides. What's the difference between Toronto and Hong Kong?
I would have to say Toronto is very laid back. Hong Kong is very fast-paced. Everything is very fast, including technology, the way people think. And it's, I guess, in a way, Toronto, you can drive everywhere. It's a bigger space. Hong Kong is relatively smaller.
Now, this is an important question.
Yes.
Is it true that Toronto has the best Chinese food in the world?
Well, considering the fact that we have both Hong Kong and Toronto, the best chefs here tonight, I would have to say no comment.
以電鋪張，人事商，明珠萬火，映輝煌。如此排場，星光夜，嘉賓淑女伴身旁。On such a festive day, I can't help to be a little bit poetic, so bear with me. On June the 26th, 1995, Fortune magazine published an article proclaiming the death of Hong Kong. It said, Hong Kong's future could be summed up in 2 words. It's over. On September the 3rd, 2001, its sister publication, Time, tried to salvage this titanic prediction by saying Hong Kong is not dead, but it's bleeding. Today, just half a month short of 10 years after Hong Kong has become a special administrative region of the People's Republic of China, Hong Kong is not yet over. Indeed, we have bowled over the world with our stellar economic dynamism and resilience, thanks to the entrepreneurship of the Hong Kong people and the support of our motherland. Riding on the booming economy in China's mainland and the series of collaborative measures between China's mainland and Hong Kong, Hong Kong's economy is now in its best ever shape since the reunification. Our GDP growth in the first quarter of 2007 was 6.6% compared to 5.1% in 1997. Today, the Hang Seng Index stands at over 21,000 points high, up from about 10,000 points in 1997. And if you ask any international financial institution nowadays, it will tell you that Hong Kong is not bleeding. In fact, it's flooding with liquidity. The stock market capitalization has increased by 4 times to over 1.7 trillion US dollars by the end of 2006, the same size as the Toronto Stock Exchange. And last year, Hong Kong surpassed New York to become the 2nd largest IPO fundraising center in the world. Your Excellency, Ambassador Lu Xiumin, the Honorable Premier Dalton McGuinty, Senator Vivian Poy, the Honorable Michael Chong, MP, Member of the House of Commons, Provincial Ministers, Members of the Provincial Parliament of Ontario, Mayor, City Councillors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I wonder what other prediction Fortune and Time would make about Hong Kong in future, but I can tell you, I've already started reading the Toronto Star and the Canadian Business ever since I arrived in Canada 3 years ago. And I'm always delighted to hear the constant stream of good news about Hong Kong reported in the TV and radio of the Fairchild Group and Singtao News Daily. By the way, Fairchild Group, Singtao, Toronto Star, Canadian Business, they are all supporters of tonight's event. Many thanks to them. The theme of the Bauhina Gala is the Pearl River Delta of China. Since our reunification with the motherland, Hong Kong has been actively seeking economic collaboration with China's mainland. Many of you know that about 60,000 Hong Kong-owned factories now employ 10 million workers, the size of Canada's entire working population, in our neighboring Pearl River Delta. Recently, our economic integration with China has reached a new height. The Pampeao River Delta consists of 9 provinces in southern China plus 2 special administrative regions of Hong Kong and Macau. Together, they form an economic zone of 450 million people, roughly the entire laughter population. Tonight's gala aims to feature the cuisines and cultures of the Pampeao River Delta. It also showcases the gateway role of Hong Kong in helping Canadians understand China. I'm most grateful for the support of the 3 honorable patrons, Ambassador Lu, Premier McKinsey, and Senator Poi. Your presence helps underline the importance of Hong Kong and the Chinese community in Ontario. I also like to thank the Centre for Information and Community Services of Ontario for organizing this event. Your continuous support to provide professional services to new immigrants is commendable, and I hope you will have a successful fundraising tonight for the establishment of a new immigrant resource center. Indeed, this is a very bold move by CICS to undertake this project. As you all know, fundraising gala is contradictory in terms. Either you raise funds or you have a gala. But with the can-do spirit that Hong Kong people are famous for, you have succeeded in channeling fun, F-U-N, into funds, F-U-N-D-S. I also want to thank the Chinese Embassy and the Chinese Consulate General Office in Toronto for supporting the event by donating 50 bottles of Mai Tai for tonight's hosting. You will all get drunk, I can assure you. And I'm most obliged to express appreciation for the 4 co-chairs, Dennis Ngao Yang, George Mok, Henry Guang, and Richard Zhang, for their dedicated support, without which this event will not be possible. Last but not the least, I'm very delighted to have the support of the Chinese community. I'm always proud to tell the 3 levels of government in Canada that you are a group of remarkable people who not only excel in your businesses or professions, but also contribute selflessly and immeasurably to the Canadian society. I hope you will continue our effort in helping Canada to build a better relation with China. A delicious dinner and spectacular performances are awaiting us. Bon appetit, enjoy yourself tonight, and don't drink too much if you have to drive home. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Basonio Song. Your Honorable Premier Dalton McKenty, Your Honorable Senator Vivian Poi, the Honorable Michael Chong, representative of the federal government, members of Parliament, provincial ministers, members of the Provincial Legislative Assembly, mayors, city councillors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, 大家晚上好. Good evening. It is such a delight for my wife and my colleagues, and also Madame Zhu, Consul General in Toronto, to be invited to the Bauhina Gala dinner tonight and join you on this momentous occasion to celebrate the 10th anniversary of the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region of the People's Republic of China. Let me begin by thanking all of the organizers and the sponsors, the Center for Information and Community Services, and the Hong Kong Economic and Trade Office in particular, for organizing this highly commendable event. It offers us a very rare opportunity, not only to taste the delicious food from the Pearl River Delta in China, but more importantly, to celebrate the outstanding achievement of the Hong Kong SAR and help new Chinese immigrants here in Canada were the funds raised on this occasion. Over the past decade since the handover, Hong Kong grew apace on all fronts and cemented its unique position as the international hub for trade, financial and shipping services in Asia. Its economy is growing stronger than ever and ranks among the freest and most robust economies around the world. Under the one country, two systems policy, Hong Kong enjoys a high degree of autonomy and maintained its stability and prosperity. Positioned to be Asia's world city, Hong Kong has never been so confident on its way forward. Hong Kong's success story is the best showcase of how well the bold and brilliant concept of one country, two systems can turn into a living reality. The idea to highlight the Pearl River Delta, or 9+2, as today's theme couldn't be a better choice. Hong Kong's prosperity is strongly tied to that of the entire country, especially the Pearl River Delta region. The 9 provinces, including Sichuan, Yunnan, Guizhou, Hunan, Guangxi, Guangdong, Jiangxi, Fujian, and Hainan, represent one of the most promising areas in China, as large as 1/5 of the entire country and home to 1/3 of China's population. The combined economy of these 9 provinces and regions accounts for over 40% of the national total, and each of them is distinctive with vast potentials. For instance, Guangdong is a manufacturing powerhouse and has the largest economy among all Chinese provinces. Sichuan is blessed with huge hydroelectric resources, in addition to a booming panda population. And Yunnan is renowned for its mild climate and breathtaking natural beauty. With the signing of CEPA, closer economic partnership agreement between the Hong Kong SAR government and the central government in 2003, and a fast emerging free trade area encompassing ASEAN and China, Hong Kong has a vital role to play in delivering greater prosperity to itself and others through win-win competition. Though competition comes from all dimensions, competition is what Hong Kong, as the world's freest economy, is best at. Looking ahead, we are confident that a brighter future awaits, both for Hong Kong as a special administrative region and for China as a nation. Finally, I wish this fundraising gala evening a great success and wish everybody have a pleasant evening. Thank you.
Honorable Michael Chong to say a few words on behalf of the Canada federal government.
Good evening. Your Excellency, Ambassador of the People's Republic of China to Canada, Premier McGuinty, members and ministers of the Parliament of Canada and the Legislature of Ontario, good evening. It's a real pleasure for me to be here today to give you greetings on behalf of the Government of Canada and on behalf of our Prime Minister, Stephen Harper. July 1st marks the 10th anniversary of the return of Hong Kong to China and of their creation of the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region. 10 years later, we can say that Hong Kong has been an unmitigated success story. A city of 7 million people, a place where East meets West, a place with a dynamic business and entertainment culture, a global center of trade. My father lived in Hong Kong, during the Second World War, a very different time than today, and to see how far Hong Kong has come in the last 50 or 60 years is nothing short of amazing. When my father came to Canada from Hong Kong in 1952, he worked hard, he built a life for himself and his family in a new country. And what my father did is what your parents did, what your mother and fathers did, what your aunts and uncles did, and what your great-grandparents did. And what many of you here in this room did for us in years past. Your parents and your grandparents, both here and in Hong Kong, blazed a path for all of us. They sacrificed and they toiled, and out of the ashes of war they built. Here at home, they helped make Canada what it is today, one of the best places in the world. Back in Hong Kong, they built a city that is a global powerhouse. Today in Canada, there are over 1 million Canadians of Chinese descent, many of them from Hong Kong, who came here and decided to make Canada their home. I'm very proud to count myself as one of that 1 million. So on behalf of the Government of Canada, I thank you all for your contributions, both here and to Hong Kong, and to this gala, a very worthwhile cause, and to the People's Republic of China, and to the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region, I convey my congratulations on 10 years of success and prosperity in Hong Kong. Thank you very much.
今日我好榮幸同大家介紹一位重量級嘅人物。3年半來，佢係安省嘅省民，實現咗安居樂業嘅願望。佢就係安省嘅省長麥堅迪先生。I have the honor of introducing our premier. Dr. McKinsey believes Ontarians can take on the world and win. In our schools, test scores are up, graduation rates are up, enrollment in our university and colleges is up. In healthcare, there are more nurses and doctors, and wait times for important procedures are coming down. In just 3.5 years, Ontario's economy has created more than 330 net new jobs. Premier, you have so much to be proud of. I know you are proudest of your wife of 26 years, Terry, and your 4 children, Dalton Jr., Liam, Connor, and Carleen. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to give you the Honourable Dr. McKinsey, Premier of Ontario.
Thank you so much, Michael, for a very kind and generous introduction. Your Excellency, Ambassador Liu Shumin, to all members of the Diplomatic Corps, Senator Vivian Poy, and to all of my colleagues, each and every one of you who, like me, have the privilege of serving others as a holder of public office. Thank you so much for being here this evening. And it's great to see such a large crowd. Although, frankly, I'm not entirely surprised. You see, recently I've had the opportunity to do a number of events with Governor Schwarzenegger, and everywhere we went together, he was amazed at the crowds that I was drawing. And I'm so pleased to have my wife, Terry, with us here this evening. For months now, I promised to take her out to a quiet, intimate dinner. Although I must say this is the quietest Chinese dinner I have ever attended in my life. I am so pleased that with the work that Michael is doing on behalf of the people of Markham. I'm proud to have him on my team. You may know that he grew up in Hong Kong and came to Canada to start his life when he was only 18. And in a typical Canadian immigrant success story, Michael arrived here with nothing but a strong determination to succeed and a willingness to work very hard to achieve that success. Not only has he been a successful entrepreneur and valuable member of my caucus and cabinet, he's also a proud father and a loving husband. I'm also very pleased to be here in the company tonight of my colleagues, Mike Cole and Jerry Phillips, and of course Michael. But to see my old friend, Ambassador Lou Shumin. Lou came to Canada 34 years ago, in 1973. At the time, he was one of 9 students sent from the People's Republic of China to study here in Canada. Today, we have about 55,000. Of those 9 students, 3 moved into my house. They lived with me, my 9 brothers and sisters, my mother, my father, and 2 dogs. And to the very best of my knowledge, those 3 students have now fully recovered from that experience. But I think it harkens back to the sincere effort and the durability of the relationship that we have worked so hard to achieve and maintain with China. And I'm pleased to have been just a small part of that as a youth. I'd like to thank Ken Yuan and everybody at the Center for Information and Community Services for all their hard work in putting this event together. I'd like to recognize the Hong Kong Economic and Trade Office, the Chinese Embassy in Canada, the Consulate General of the People's Republic of China in Toronto, and the Hong Kong Tourism Board for coming together for this great celebration. And once again, I want to thank Arsenio for his marvelous leadership. Tonight marks 10 years since the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region was created. I had the great good fortune of visiting there in 2005. And one of the highlights of my trip to China and Hong Kong was my visit to the Lama Island for the best fish meal I have ever tasted in my life. And coming back at night in the ferry through the harbor was spectacular. Kenny, I want to thank you for the great work you do with CICS. Your motto is, we serve for a better future, and more than 200 programs back that up. Your organization is helping newcomers find their way when they arrive in Canada so they can start to succeed in Canada. Everything from dance classes and summer camps to teaching English, math, and even parenting. And you're doing it in many different languages. The new Immigrant Resource Center that we are supporting here this evening will enhance these programs and help newcomers settle into new jobs and communities even more smoothly. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to leave you with one of my favorite quotations from a gentleman by the name of Sir Wilfrid Laurier, one of our Canadian Prime Ministers, and he uttered these words about 10 years before our country was founded. And this is what he said: "It is to our glory that hatreds have ended on Canadian soil. There is no longer any family here but the human family. It matters not what language the people speak or at which altars they kneel. There is glory in this fraternity of which Canada can never be proud enough. Mighty nations indeed may well come to us to seek a lesson in justice and humanity." Laurier was speaking to this powerful, noble ideal which has inspired Canadians over the decades. And I like to think it speaks to a fundamental truth which has been spoken to through the ages by all the world's great faiths and all the world's wisest people. And that fundamental truth is this: when it comes to people, what is most important is not the color of our skin. It is not the language that we speak. It is not the culture that we cherish. It is not those traditions that we inherit. It is not the power that we wield. It is not the money that we accumulate. And it's not the faith that we practice. What is most important when it comes to people everywhere is our common humanity. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us here this evening. I want to thank you for embracing that powerful, noble ideal. I want to thank you for supporting this worthy cause. And I want to once again congratulate Hong Kong on its 10th anniversary. Thank you very much.
So drink it slowly.
Cheers. Happy handover. Cheers, Jen and Frank.
我咧都不厭其煩再講多次啦。如果咧邊位要揸車嘅朋友咧，就要小心啲咯喎。Don't drink too much and drive. Thank you all the VIPs.
唔到嘅，可能佢今次要破紀錄啩。
总人士、各位嘉宾、各位朋友，欢迎大家今晚来庆祝香港回归50周年，同时支持社区新建移民资源中心的慈善晚宴。I wish to thank the Centre for Information and Community Services of Ontario, the CICS, the Hong Kong Economic and Trade Office, the Chinese Embassy in Canada, the Consulate General of the People's Republic of China in Toronto, and the Hong Kong Tourism Board for bringing our community together for this grand celebration. Tonight's event unites the different regions of China through its extraordinary menu which features the very best cuisine from provinces in South China and the 2 special administrative regions of Hong Kong and Macau. I would like at this time to thank our star chefs for bringing us this unforgettable gourmet event, which combines the skills of renowned chefs from Toronto and Hong Kong. Besides the extravagant dinner, you will be treated to entertainment. In fact, we have been treated to entertainment, which highlights tonight's theme of the successful implementation of one country, 2 systems, reflecting the Hong Kong spirit. Many individuals have worked long and hard to organize tonight's landmark event, and I would like to thank all those who have made this evening possible, and most of all, our many corporate sponsors. 加拿大係一個多元化嘅國家，多倫多係喺全世界都有新移民嚟呢處。我哋非常需要有一個專為新移民提供各種資訊服務嘅機構，幫助佢哋盡快進入社會。喺加拿大可以享受安居樂業嘅生活，將來可以成為一個對國家同社會有貢獻嘅人。As the patron of the Center of Information and Community Services, I'm happy that all net proceeds from this event will go towards the building of the Immigrant Resource Center, a joint initiative of CICS, CICS Foundation, and Tsingtao Foundation. The Immigrant Resource Center will bring together the many services currently provided by CICS with a focus on the Youth Development Hub, which will include a multi-purpose gym, a loft for social activities and information sharing, and leadership training facilities to help immigrant youth find appropriate programs and services. This focus stems from the recognition that the special needs of immigrant youth are not being adequately met by existing programs, and our young immigrants need more help to meet the challenge of integration. Since 1968, CICS had provided exemplary service to our immigrants from all over the world. And the new Immigrant Resource Center will further expand its capacity to provide integration services, including settlement, employment, early years, and youth programs to the 12,000 new immigrants who arrive in Toronto every year. 希望大家支持华之处基金会和加拿大星岛基金会，帮助移民集中终身早日和社区新移民提供更好的服务。本人代表加拿大参议员向香港特别行政区成立10周年祝贺，并多谢社区的支持，恭祝大家有个愉快的夜晚。Again, my thanks to all the guests this evening for your enthusiastic support.